the Dutch auction system. There has been a claim by this regime that the Dutch auction system has worked and has stabilized prices. We contend that the Dutch auction system is not an auction system. An auction system is a free market with free entry on both supply side and on demand side. So the most common and the freest market that we know in Zimbabwe is the tobacco auction floor. There are over 100,000 tobacco producers in Zimbabwe. They all go to the markets to supply tobacco. So there is liberalization and openness on the supply side, i.e. the players who supply the product, in my example, tobacco farmers. Regrettably, as far as the Dutch auction system is concerned, there is only one supplier, the Reserve Bank. Only the Reserve Bank has been supplying foreign currency. So where you have got one supplier, you can't call that an auction. It's a fixed exchange regime, because he who controls the supply line, he who controls the tap, can control the value of the product. And you will see that the price of the product, the price of foreign currency on the Dutch auction system has remained constantly at 80. It has been floating between 79 to 82, and it has averaged in 80. But now, go back again, go back to the previous one. Now, this is South Africa. This is the rand. The rand, South Africa is a US $400 billion economy. It is a strong economy. The rand, compared to Zimbabwe, is fairly strong. It has been anchored at around 1:15 to the US. But even at that, it has been very volatile. Look at that. Look at that, because it's not rigged. It's an open market system. Can I have the next slide? Now, this is the rand from the period June to November. I've used that period because the auction system in Zimbabwe started in June. Now, look at the volatility of South Africa. Now, look at Zimbabwe. This is June. It's a flat line. There's no volatility. And the reason why there's no volatility is because it's a controlled exchange rate. It's a rigged exchange rate. The governor wakes up on the wrong side of the bed on Tuesday and says today is going to be 81 or today is going to be 79. There is no science. There is no attempt to be sophisticated. Just look at how flat this graph is and compare with South Africa and the thing. So the issue of exchange rate stability is a myth. And I want to give you other statistics. On average, $18 million has been released to the auction floor every Tuesday. Which means story. That's when I put my page. Which means that by the end of the year, around $468 million would have been released. Assuming the same will happen in 2021, in a 12-month cycle, the auction would have sold around 936 million US dollars. But you and I know that the country's exports, the country's imports, that is what we buy from outside the country, is around 7 billion US dollars a year, which is broken down as follows. Around US $2 billion goes to fuel. We consume external fuel, your diesel, your electricity. Around $1 billion goes to the importation of electricity, this electricity. We're only producing around 600 megawatts, so we have to pay Eskom or Kabora Basa HPC around $1 billion US dollars. Another $1 billion goes to drugs, the drugs that are in our hospitals. And next year, the amount will increase as Zimbabwe, like everyone else, struggles to buy the COVID-19 vaccines that big pharmacy is competing to produce Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Oxford, and so forth. So next year, we are going to have 40 new vaccines, and Zimbabwe has to buy vaccines. So the cost of drugs will also go up by the importation of drugs, and the drugs bill will also go up by. So then, of course, we've got food, which has to be imported. If you go to Pick n Pay, 85% of the product you are going to buy in Pick n Pay Boruto right now has been imported. We're a huge supermarket of South Africa, we're a huge supermarket of China. So what it effectively means is that someone has to finance the US $7 billion worth of imports. But it's not the government, because the government's figure is $80 million per week, which comes to $936 million per year. That means someone has to, there's somewhere where that $6 billion is being funded from outside the formal economy. And this includes diaspora remittances. Your relatives are sending you money, now they're sending you food. It also means that there's a lot of illicit external trading, what we call in our document, grey imports. If all of you go to 4th Street right now, you will see buses and buses from South Africa carrying all kinds of goods, refrigerators, food, and so forth. That is a grey import. So effectively what I'm saying is that the auction floor is rigged, but it's meaningless vis-a-vis the market and the market's requirements, which is why Espalethini remains strong, which is why 4th Street remains strong. But we make the point that this myth will break, there will be an implosion as more and more demand on foreign currency increases. And we know in 2021 it will increase. It will increase because of demand on drugs money, fuel money, electricity again is shrunk. So when it increases, when the demand of foreign exchange increases with a limited supply, the price will shoot up. So the pretense of 81, 79 is a myth, and a myth that will be shattered very soon. I want to move to another myth. Which is the myth of surpluses and balancing books. Our Minister of Finance loves talking about budget surpluses. The graph you are seeing here, we extracted it from his budget strategy paper of 2021. So this is supposed to be zero. So his hope is that he will maintain, a balanced budget. But this is him. This is not us. You will see. This is for 2020. That even he himself estimates that, and you see this from our lending paper, estimates that the budget deficit for this year will be at least minus 1.4% of GDP. So he doesn't lie, in the papers at least. But the real issue, ladies and gentlemen, is as follows. You cannot claim a budget surplus when hospitals have no medicine, when there are no teachers in schools. You cannot claim a budget surplus when the public health system has collapsed, the public education system has collapsed. You cannot claim a budget surplus when you fail to fund COVID. COVID was supposed to be funded to the tune of $18 billion. You all remember the COVID strategy paper that was launched by Mr. Mnangagwa in March, April of 2020, and $18 billion, it has not been funded. Some of us demanded the payment of social safety nets to workers during COVID. We suggested that the government should pay at least US $50 per family. That has not been done. So you can't, it's unwise, wrong, fictitious, and the like to claim a budget deficit or a budget surplus when you are underfunding the budget. As you know, the budget will be presented shortly. When we interviewed in Parliament all 9 ministries, they testified that for the 2020 budget, the 2020 budget had only been funded by 30%. So 70% was unfunded. So you can't claim a budget surplus when you are holding on to money and you are not funding the same. So once again, the myth of a budget surplus is what it is. It is a lie, it is a fib. And part of the problem with the current authorities, in particular the current Minister of Finance, is that lies come naturally and easily to him. And that is regrettable for a policymaker. Tell the truth, tell the truth, tell the truth.